quilt. Hopefully I am live. I think I'm live. So let me show you what I'm doing currently. And then I'm going to also show you where I'm at while I roll the quilt. And what are we going to do today? We're going to hang out. We're going to unbox the Featherweight. We're going to talk about a quilt class I took that I felt kind of was difficult, but really neat quilt top that came out. It's a little banner. Then we're going to talk about what my block swap looks like. Maybe I'll share that. And then, so we're going to do a couple things today, and then we're going to make a decision in this live stream what quilt we want to quilt for the giveaway that I'm going to give away. A lot of people made comments and talked to me about which one they chose, but we're going to talk about it here. So I'm going to move you here so you can see the long arm and see how the long arm is presenting itself. It is that tree quilt. I already did one of them. Let me see. I'm going to edit for a second. Oh, let me see. What am I doing? Edit. I'm trying to learn this system. It's such a different system. Manual. Medium frequency. Yeah. Okay. So we're getting ready to roll this quilt. Currently, I have already stitched one row. I don't know which. I already stitched one row. And the reason I unstitched one row is I know that sometimes these live streams kind of go a bit long. I want to make sure that I'm not taking a lot of your time. And I'm also going to film separately me quilting this, so those that don't tend to like watching live streams because they take so much time. But I'm quilting a quilt real time with you, so you understand how long it takes. Also too, if you are here, please make a comment so I could know that I am live. Because unless you comment, I don't know if anybody's here. And it's okay if you're not. Some people kind of like watching later, which is good. I used to watch my favorite content creators like whenever the day settled down and I wasn't so busy and I could take a break from my life. So I'm rolling her. We're going to unbox a Featherweight that I purchased just recently from a friend who purchased the machine and then decided that she didn't want it. And I think that it's a beautiful machine, by the way. She is painted. I wanted to share some of the things I've learned with people who sell machines that are painted. I think the people who paint the machines don't know some things about the Featherweight. One of them, I bought a beautiful purple Featherweight recently. So I didn't intend to buy this one, but I bought a beautiful purple Featherweight, and when I started sewing on it, it said ready to sew. They didn't re-grease it and they didn't re-oil it. Now I understand why they wanted to clean it. I mean, spotless clean. I understand why they wanted to have it spotless clean. And it's because they wanted to, if you're painting it, you can't have grease or oil anywhere on the machine. And I'm sure that would affect the painting of the quilt. So if you're here, I'm going to go into the comment section of this. Hello, how are you? Let me just prepare. I really will go through all your comments and look at your comments. I welcome you here. Thank you for being part of my life. I appreciate you. Pennsylvania, right? PA is Pennsylvania? I'm not sure. So I'm going to steam this quilt. This quilt has a lot of puddling within the blocks. I think the tree design has some pulling and bias. So I have to make sure on this quilt especially that everything is nice and steam ironed. If you're a quilter or a long armor, benefit from that steam as much as you can, because it really does help control the quilt top. So I'm going to move you here. Hello, Arturo. How are you, mijo? I love you. Sugar's being a butt, but she's so fun. How to get on her. So we're going to go ahead and sew the sides down. So I'm going to move you to this camera so you can see this camera. And I'm just getting her ready so that I could start quilting her. Come on. I'm using the, when I stitch the quilt down, I used to use a basting stitch so that I could control, see sometimes the border is a bit wavy. Some border problems you can fix and some of them you can't. It's the way it is because of how the piecer pieced the border, but some of it you could kind of like fiddle or work out. Let me move you here while I work on this section of the quilt. This quilt back is bowing down. I don't know if you could see it from the film. It is bowing down a little bit. And notice here you're seeing me tack this quilt down completely. I saw a wonderful video of a long arm quilter who's here and she makes content here. She talked about measuring the back fabric and making sure that the back fabric was large enough for the quilt top. I refuse to go on the floor. It's an older lady thing. You know, when you're older, it's harder to get up the floor. I make sure, because she was talking about I make sure that I measure the length of the back fabric and the length of the quilt top. And that's how I know that the back fabric is large enough to, that it's large enough for what you're quilting. And she was right. It is a pain in the butt. Let me move you here. If your quilt top is bigger than your quilt back, it is horribly annoying. One, and it is a pain to, well, sometimes you have to make sure that you have enough back fabric on the sides to repiece the back fabric. I've had to do it for some clients. And you also are dealing now with a big giant quilt top, or with the batting, the top and the quilt back together. So it's a lot to re-stitch some extra fabric to the quilt back. Let me move you here because I need to iron. But she was right. But you could, instead of going on the floor, my suggestion is make sure you measure accurately your quilt back, and you measure accurately your, let me move you here so you can watch me, measure accurately your quilt top, the top itself. And I usually, when the client comes and I get ready for me to long arm a quilt for her, I have measured the quilt, so I have it written down. And also to some clients, you get to know your clients. Some clients don't tend to make their backs. Some clients don't measure their backs and they assume that they got the right measurement. Let me move you here. See, so you can see. So some clients just, honestly, making a quilt back sucks. Or if you're having to piece it, my recommendation is that you get 108 fabric from Marshall's Dry Goods, and it saves a big giant step when it comes to getting ready to take your quilt to a long armor. Maybe I could do a video talk today about what to do or how to prepare your quilts for your long armor. Because when I went to my long armor, I remember I wasn't very good at quilting at the time. I could say I was a baby quilter, an infant in this skill. You can see how maybe you can see it. This quilt is sagging. Let me move you here. This quilt is sagging on the back fabric right here. She's sagging down. I ironed her as much as I could. One of the ways I found to fix sagging, and then once I start her, I'm going to answer your questions, okay? Is I get these magnets. I get these big magnets. They're tool magnets to put your tools on. They're like that. I have two together. I usually have like little door pullers on here. That's why you see that. Where am I? Where's my hand? Okay, this. And then what I do is I use the door pullers, or I use these to tighten the back fabric. And so let me show you what that looks like. So here, also too, you could use these to pull your fabric, your taut, so that you don't have to, well, I never do. I flip my quilts. You don't have to put a leader on your quilt back. So let me move you here so you can see what I'm doing. Sorry if I'm moving the quilt. So I'm going to roll the quilt, but I'm going to move everything else out of the way so I have space. So you see a sag right here, and that means that my back fabric is a little bit bigger than it should be, or when I was rolling her, she was, I didn't roll her accurately, or I didn't roll her in a way that, that she was tight all the way through. So you could get this and pull this taut, and then you don't see it. The only thing is you have to be on top of yourself that when you roll the quilt again, that the quilt itself, so you see no sag anymore. I don't know if you could tell, but you could use that ruler to pull that back fabric taut, and you could put it on the bottom bar, or you could pull it on the back fabric on this top belly bar. Also too, you can use these magnets if your quilt is saggy, which it shouldn't be if you iron it, but it can be. You can get this magnet and pull it. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. I try to make the cameras where they're flexible and movable so you could see. So you could literally get the fabric and pull it, and now the fabric is nice and taut. But you need to be careful when you do this, because that ends up stretching your fabric a bit, and it could cause warpage if the quilt itself already has some warpage. So let me see. This is the top. Then I don't know if you see me, measure the long arm from edge to edge every time I roll it, so I can make sure, I'm going to bring you here, so I can make sure that it is in line to the next row, like that, and it's in line to the edge of the quilt. Why did it do that? So let me get started, and then I'll look at your comments and see who's here. And we'll have a great time today. I'm so excited to be here with y'all, by the way. What happened? Okay. No. Okay. Let's start her. And I'm going to put you so you can see me. Because you just don't want to see the quilt, right? You want to see what's going on. Then move her here. Now on the computer. Why is she off that far? Okay. I want it this way. Hopefully you guys could hear me well. And I'll check to make sure. I think I've gotten used to the system now. But no. As you keep doing this, you get, like right now I was hearing a weird sound. Like, why is it making that sound? You get really good at listening to the machine and listening to any weirdness your machine can do. Of course, you get like that with your sewing machine. So, you're out of thread already. All right, let me reset the thread. That's dumb, huh? I wound about 5 bobbins for this quilt. This is a queen size quilt, and also too, this quilt has medium to, well, the density of the quilting. Can I come over here? Maybe I have to go all the way over here. Sorry, I'm gonna move you, okay? So you can watch me. All right. The density of the quilting is medium. It's not very densely quilted, and the reason is the more densely quilted you have a quilt, the more time you're on the quilt. So I like the sweet spot where it's quilted enough that it looks beautiful, but it's not quilted so much that it becomes heavy. So the more quilting or thread you have on the machine, the more weighted the quilt will be. Come on, sugar. Come on, get out of there. I don't want you there. That is not your spot. Cook, Roxy. Come on. Come on, Mama. All right, I'll get her in a minute. They want to be behind the machine, and I don't want them there because if they're behind the machine, they could hit the power. Let's see. Come on. Okay, there we go. We're starting again. I realize like right now for every row, I'm going to need a full bobbin. And I only check my bobbin every time I start a new quilt. I'm not checking it every time I put a new bobbin. So I guess I'm just, so let's see. Let's see who's here. How are you today? Debbie or Deb from Garland, Texas. I love you. Annette is here. Thank you for letting me know I'm looking better. Yes, I'm trying, our church, I'm trying to share like all the beautiful quilting you could see. Okay, you want a tour. Let's see. Annette from Pennsylvania? I don't know my states, even though when I was a kid I did. All right, let's see. So let me share with you. Let me go to this view. Come on. Is it tour worthy? Well, let's see. Let me put some stuff away real quick. Because I have a lint mess here. But yeah, I'll give you a tour. Please ignore the dust or the lint or the whatever. Hello, Beverly. You're from California, Tiger Lily. Nice to meet you. Hello, everyone. How is the volume? Can you hear me? All right, let's give you a tour, okay? I'm going to get another camera so I could rotate her around. And then let's give you a quilting tour. Let me get the camera. La, la, la. All right, let's see. Quilting tour. Is this the one? Hey, I don't know. Oh, it's this camera. I have 4 cameras up, so I have like, I could get confused very easily. Can you tell? This camera is not the greatest, okay? But it's a camera that I can move around without having to move the whole system. All right? Ah, come on. Great, so I'm gonna move you to this camera, and I'm moving you. Hello, Jess Jones. How are you? Jess Jones? You can hear me great. Okay, so this is the camera that I'm gonna start using. Hopefully you can see everything really well, okay? Hello, how are you? So I'm gonna turn you to here. This is where the long arm is at. And you can see the beautiful quilt. You could also see, I'm going to share how this quilt can be a problem because of the way it puddles when it lays. So this is a long arm. I'm also going to bring you to what I'm stitching on this long arm. It's a beautiful variegated thread, and it's a little bit more masculine of a quilting design because I wanted to be able to give this to a man if I wanted to. This is what it's called pickup sticks. This is the design that I put on here. And so this from here is the long arm. I was going to do a video about gamma was wanting me to trade in my long arm for a faster machine. And I know Gamble is trying to promote that their machines are faster. But if you use Gamble's old system of putting leaders on a quilt, you lose an hour every time you pin a leader. And then also you lose a lot of time if you don't buy zipper leaders. So this is my quilt area where if I have zipper leaders, I also have quilts that are connected to the back fabric. So this is a back fabric with a leader. And everything, I will literally work on the back fabrics, cut the batting, and get everything ready for my client. I wanted to do a video about being efficient as a long armor and always working for the next one. So here's my thread. And then everything that has little sticks, those are my bobbin holders that I created. And I know that every thread that has one of those, that means I already have bobbins that are wound. What I wanted to do is create a system where I don't have a bobbin drawer. Now I have a threader here and another bobbin threader here. I love these because you set it up, you let it go, it rethreads the bobbin for you. And I also have these that connect to my machine. So when I'm working on a quilt, I put all the bobbins in here and then I lay it on my machine. Now, this is a mess, but this is full of batting that I have pre-cut for all the quilts that I'm going to give away. I had like 2 rolls, and I also have scrap batting in that bag, which I use to do for the quilts that I do for the children's hospital. And I also have a couple of quilts that have leaders on them for the children's hospital quilts. And so this is kind of my back of my machine. After I quilt several quilts, all this disappears and it becomes really nice and clean. Those bins hold scrap batting over here. They hold scrap batting, and yeah, I try to be really organized. And these are quilts that I'm quilting for the giveaway, for the 80 by 90 quilts, queen size quilts. And these are the quilts I quilt for the children's hospital. They're all organized in kind of containers. You may not look organized. It's just battings on top of it, but I try to keep it all organized. I wanted to do a video on my organization on, let's see. These are shoe drawers that you buy at the Container Store. Wait, let me see. And I got a little piece of paper, and you can literally clean up all your, what are these? Fat quarters. And it's just a shoe container. I have a video on it. It organized all of them instead of having them everywhere in every spot. I know I could go look for certain colors, certain styles especially. So that's these are shoes from the shoe containers for the shoe store. And I also use them for my Joanne threads. I try to be the kind of person that everything, even my leaders, everything is grab and go. I get really frustrated when I waste time. So all of these projects right here are projects that I want to work on this coming year. They're in these little bins, and I also have the fabric that coordinates with it. And I also have, like, if I bought the back fabric, like this has the back fabric already purchased. I organize it in these little bins, and they don't take a lot of space. So when I'm going to work on a specific project, that's where I have it. Now, I don't know why I have that. And here, someone gave me this quilt, and I was going to hand work it. So I have it visible because I'm the kind that if it's not in front of me, I lose it. I don't know if y'all are like me. If it's not in my face, I lose it. But this is where I prep my clients' quilts. I have the back fabric already sewn onto the leaders, and then I prep it by also having the bobbins wound. And it's all like specifically in one area. And I also have my iron up here that's always connected, so if I need to iron a client's quilt, I can. I have these bins. I love these. When I am done per client's quilt, as I go along, I put my client's quilt in these beautiful bins, and I put the fabric in there, their back fabric, their batting, their notes, their information, and I put it in these containers so my clients' quilts are never on the floor. And this is what I'm going to carry out when I'm done working. Now, this is and I organized, this is Omni thread. I think Omni thread is great. It has polyester in it, but it's Omni thread. This is my more expensive thread. This is King Tut. And you can see these little these are my bobbins. And now you can see what I'm talking about. So this is my King Tut variegated thread. And then I also have So Fine at the top. The reason I have it all out, and I know some people are going to say, hey, you shouldn't have your thread out. You know, I think it looks like a little art mural, kind of. So this is where I have my computer, my extra camera. Oh, yeah, that happens all the time. Let me also share with you my camera system. I have this quick release. I love these. They're a little bit more expensive, but every single tripod I have has a quick release. And what it helps me do is it helps me pull a camera off like I just did on this one. And then it also helps me attach it. This is my computer area. The reason I have this area is if I need to buy a pattern for a client, I could buy a pattern. And then I also have this area is where I wanted to do podcasts. Me and my kids want to do a podcast. And so that's what all that, and this is also where I have my live stream. And then let me just share with you this. This is what I use to keep all my rulers, all my scissors, little marking tools like water soluble paper for designing. These are design rulers. These are cutting rulers that I use, and these are design rulers for custom quilting. Let me see. We're going to share with you that featherweight. And then here I have my sewing area where I go ahead and I sew all my leaders together. I also have this beautiful charging port. If you guys don't want to buy anything, this charging port is awesome. I charge batteries for all my cameras. So when I'm ready to film, I'm ready to film. Let's see. And then the one thing else I could share with you, I'm not much of a fabric buyer. Sorry if the camera's moving a lot. I have a shelving unit that has all my fabric. And this fits a yard and a half, 2 yards. I had it all organized by color, by type, by style, because I was the kind of person, and I don't know if you're like me, I was the kind of person that used to have fabric everywhere. Under my bed, under my sewing area, in a closet somewhere. I had it everywhere. And this way, and then I had another issue. The issue is, I want to share with you the quick release. This has a little ball, if anybody here, and it has a quick release system where it just snaps in. And all of my tripods are exactly the same. This way, all the cameras that are connected in some way, like that one's connected with the quick release. Let me move you. I'm sorry, I'm sweaty all of a sudden. That one's also connected with a quick release. If I wanted to, I could grab this one and switch and then move the cameras around so I'm more efficient. I get really frustrated when I waste time because the more I get done in quicker time, the more I can do what I want, and the more, I don't like wasting time. You could waste a lot of time. The other day I was doing a video, and dude, I was wasting so much time just messing with the sewing machine anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to move this here. The neat thing about this camera is I can move her around. And that's a room tour. I don't know if that's a really great room tour. I also have bins and containers underneath the machine. And when a client comes and drops off a machine, maybe I can move this down. Drops off a quilt. All my clients' quilts go into these containers. I could fit up to 5 baby quilts, 2 or 3 queen size quilts, So you can fit a lot in here, and my clients' quilts go back here. And this is what I call take-in. And then when you saw the other area over here, when I'm working on this client's quilt, I have it on the side of the sewing machine, and I start sewing the leaders on them, and I start getting that stuff ready. I try very hard to be as efficient as I can, because it's very easy to not be efficient. I'm going to move you here so you can see. Are you going out? Come on. Y'all go. If you're going out, go out. There's days when I'm here, I'm trying to get as much as possible done. And also, while I'm getting all that done, I'm also trying to get, I'm trying to get everything ready for the next day if I have a lot of quilts. Hold on, let me get Roxy out. She's so annoying. Let me see. Come on, little girl. You don't want to go out? No fighting in here. I told you, you're going to go out if you fight in here. So, you can see some of the quilting. You can see a little bit of the pleating. Let me see. I'm trying to get this camera to focus on what I need to cover. No. Yes. Okay. Let me move this camera. Thank you for the, well, it's a mess. It's a messy room tour, okay? It's messy. I think I like it when like the batting is in order. Hopefully I'll do one for the San Antonio Quilt Guild if they have one this year. Also too, I have some videos that I did at the Houston Quilt Show. I used to do them a lot when I would go to the Houston Quilt Show. What is a cordless iron? Okay, let me show you my iron. Someone is asking. So I'm going to put her, she's asking about cordless iron. I have a Panasonic. Let me show you one that I have. I bought a lot of them. Years ago, I did a giveaway on them. Let me move you here while I go get that cordless Panasonic iron. I don't know how much these are anymore. They used to be really inexpensive. Ow. Hold on. They used to be really inexpensive. Oh, let me see if I could get that camera. Open. God, have mercy on me. All right. This is a cordless iron. I love these. I have a lot of these. The reason I have a lot of these is I have stuff that I fall in love with, and there's a tendency that, years pass by, they don't make them anymore. So this is, it has a case. It goes like this. Let me open it for you, and let me move you here for a second. She's kind of dirty. Yeah, hold on. Let me get a wipe and I can wipe her down. Dun, dun, dun. Let me figure this out. Hold on. I haven't used this iron in a while. So she's kind of dirty, sitting, collecting dust. So, okay, this is what she looks like. This is an old, they make them to where it looks like it's a diamond, but this is an old one that I've had for years. She is a hard worker. I need to clean her with vinegar because one day I put water in her and it had some, what did it have? It had, what is starch in it. So this is the iron itself. It's cordless. She has no cord at all. This system has a cord. So it's a, sorry, let me clean her, okay? She looks bad. No, no, don't do that. All right, hold on. Let me clean this real quick. Because I'm going to have to roll the quilt. Favorite product in my life, okay? This is one of my favorite products I ever purchased. It's a Panasonic. Another company used to make it. They stopped making it. They sold the patent to Panasonic. Now Panasonic has another one that it looks like this, but it's a diamond. So it's this way and it's a diamond. This one, I did a video on Lorena's put cordless iron and you'll see my picture. I literally tested both irons out, the smaller base, and it looks like it's a diamond. And I tested this one on how long it heated, how long the steam held, how long you could use it without having to recharge it on the base. So this is the base. This is a base and it's dirty, okay? I apologize. So what I found is if you have this in an area, you could literally iron as much as you can, and then the heat kind of dissipates, and then you could put it back on the base, let it reheat. It doesn't take a lot of time. I'm trying to sell you on the iron. It doesn't take a lot of time to reheat it. As a matter of fact, it reheats quickly, and that's the iron. This is a cordless iron that you get to see me constantly iron the quilts down with. I love this. I have 2 downstairs, 2 up here. And the reason I buy a lot of them is I think it was Maytag who created this design, and then they stopped making them and they were really expensive. Maytag's quilt iron was extremely expensive, and they stopped making it, and thank God Maytag started making it. They're really easy to clean, like you see me clean the base right now. But what happened is, yeah, I put water that had a, what did it have? It had some starch in it, and I didn't know because I mixed starch with water, and you could see that it started coming out like really dirty water out of it. So I need to go through this iron. I didn't damage it, it still works, but I need to go through this iron and put vinegar in it and water and let it drain out and clean out the system. But I have a lot of these. I love these. If you're a sewer or a quilter or anything like that, I recommend, best purchase ever. I don't know. I think you could get them as low. I got a couple of them because I did a giveaway years ago on these. I was giving away the diamond ones on quilting on my channel, and I gave away a couple diamond ones, maybe 4 or 5. And then sometimes when I would do these challenges, like get her done challenges, I would give one of these away because I think I want to give you guys what I love. Anyway, I love these. They do have a different one, but I have a video on this specific iron. And look how clean the base is. And the iron is beautiful. And it's easy, like on a class, to just travel with it. It just sits on this base. But I have one of them continuously plugged in. And you just see a green light. And then I hit it like 3 times and the red light for the top comes up. And best purchase ever. Let's roll the quilt, okay? Hopefully I could get my camera to work. No, do not follow me. All right. You don't need to see my back end. That's crazy. The reason I have this, hold on, please stay focused. I'm going to move that camera. Let's see if I could do this without the camera doing some weird stuff to me. Is that a better view? That's a better view, right? Some of these little cameras, they're AI. They're smart cameras, but man, They move when I don't want them to, which, all right, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off these magnets. Make sure you don't connect the magnets together because it pinches the living crap out of you. Okay, then I need to pull this magnet off of here. It's a strong magnet too. Now you could see the puddling. The camera's moving back and forth. Stop. Just stay focused. Yeah, oh my gosh, have mercy on me. All right, I'm gonna move you where a camera that doesn't do that. I'm sure it's annoying. Why is it moving? I'm gonna start my iron, my cordless iron, like I was sharing, and it already has water and steam. And then the reason I'm heating it up now is because while I'm doing this, it's heating up. Let me roll her. Hopefully you can see me roll her. And then I'm going to move the pickup bar up a little bit. Let me see. Then I'm going to lock the back again. Pull the back fabric as taut as I possibly can. I don't know if you can see me doing that. I have these clamps. There we go. We're gonna rub her down. We're gonna pull this fabric taut. I don't know if you guys know, I lost Cookie. She got real sick on me and I had to let her go. And my son lets me take care of Sugar because when I look at Sugar, for some reason, she, you know, that white patterning with a pie ball or dappling, it makes me not miss Cookie as much. So since my dog Cookie's been gone, the house is a bit quieter. I didn't realize how much that dog complained. Like, complained. Always whining at me, trying to talk to me with her whining. Nope. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting the pattern ready. And so I may have to change the bobbin in a minute. And then I'm going to iron her, but right now I smoothed her down. So I'm able to go ahead and stitch. Oh, come on. I got you. I got you. Stitch this quilt here. And then all right, let's see. Got her down, quilted, or sewn. Then my machine is hot. Did I move you? I'm gonna slide her. And then I'm also going to trim the batting. I like trimming the batting as I go. I usually oversize the batting. The reason I trim the batting is when you're rolling, hopefully you can see me. When you're rolling the quilt, the batting gets real thick and it has it's not even. Then you see it's not as, someone's texting me. All right, let's see. 340. I don't think I have bobbin anymore. Come on. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure here. I need to roll the quilt a little bit. That's pretty good. Strap. And then in a minute, when I get her going, okay, I'm going to talk to y'all. But right now you're watching me work. Oops. Then I always, let me move you here so you can see, maybe you can see the quilt. I always iron quilts. You can see the trees have these weird folds. And I think whoever made this quilt, the lady who made this quilt, I know, you know, I don't think she ironed it well, if I'm being honest. Or she didn't iron the blocks and iron them. I'm gonna move you here so you can see me maybe here. She didn't iron them because or she ironed them from the back because there's these weird little folds where the seam is not completely ironed flat. And you can see there's these weird little folds throughout the whole. Now the weird little folds are not that big a deal, but keep in mind that one little weird little tiny 1/16 of a fold, if you have 2 of those, it becomes 1/8 of a fold. And then if you have 2 or more of those, you end up having a 1/4 inch size difference because they're not folded flat. The seam is not folded flat, and you have like a little, and I'll show you right now because I need to reheat the iron, and I'm going to move you so you can see what I'm talking about. You want to, maybe I'll do a video on like what long armors, some of my best clients, and why I call them my best clients and why I consider them great clients. It's not necessarily because their quilts are perfectly made or, sorry, moving you. Some of the best clients are my best clients because they iron. Do you see that little fold like that? And you see it where you see the iron mark, but it didn't iron open. That can cause your quilt to, like even like here, but you really do see it here, where she ironed it flat, but she didn't iron it open. And I'm not talking about an open seam. She didn't iron it completely flat to where it sits flat. See how these sit really flat and pretty, but over here you could see almost like a little cave. I know it's not that big a deal. It's a 1/16. It's a 1/16 of a gap. But if you do 4 of those throughout the quilt, you are having a 1/4 of an inch or a 1/2 inch. So if you're going to bring your quilt to a long armor, make sure that you don't just iron in the back and set your seams. You want to also iron the quilt block in the front so that you can flatten the seams. And I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and iron it. And you can see where I ironed it already, how beautifully and flat they are. Hold on, let me get my iron. I don't want to move too much and then you guys get dizzy. Like, oh my gosh, it's moving so much, I have to go. So iron the front of the seam and iron it as flat as you can so that there's no gap in any way, because those gaps also create pleats when you're quilting. And if you do this for your quilts, you're also saving the long armor a lot of time. And also, not every long armor will do this for free, which is annoying. They're just ironing a dumb quilt, but they won't do it for free. They'll charge you for having to fix something that is so easy just to do. When you iron the quilt top, you could also make sure you iron, or when you iron your blocks in the back, you also make sure you iron the front and make sure that those seams are beautifully flat. Like here. Let me get you going. But there's another one. The reason I always iron any quilt that I have, is rare if I don't iron, because the flatter the quilt is, the better the quilt will quilt. The better the quilt itself will. And I know of some long armors, let me just say, that they refuse to be doing this. They consider this extra work. I don't think it's extra work. I think it's work that should be part of the quilt. You want the client to get as much as a beautiful quilt as they can have. And no matter what, we're all beginners, we're all starting, and no one's quilt is ever perfect, ever. Let me see. That's okay. All right, let's get going. Let's get started, and then I'm going to look at your comments. In a minute, I'm also going to show you this. So, iron your blocks in the front and back. Let's see. It will. It helps avoid this weird puddling, and because there's so much bias because of the tree, she could have also put starch on it to lock that bias down. All right, let's see. Let's talk. All right, let's see. Let me see your comments. Thank you. I'm glad I'm helping. When I started, I talked about this a lot. When I started years ago, they didn't talk about any of this. Are you guys serious? To press your quilt, they charge you $50 to $25? Like, that's... Let me just go here so it's brighter. That's stupid. No, I have a lady friend who... I don't know. I have a lady friend who charges... Maybe I do a video of the con of long arm quilting. Because... Or the quilting community. Because the reason I say that is they upcharge you for everything. For example, I have a lady who long arms. She uses the cheapest thread she could use. She uses the cheapest thread she could use, which is Dritz thread. I think you could get like 15 yards for like $7 or $8, maybe 10. It's so cheap, man. It's a pure polyester thread. She charges per bobbin, and believe it or not, she charges probably like $3 and something cents per bobbin, which right now I'm on my, I think I'm my fourth bobbin. I'm on my fourth bobbin because I'm doing 4 rows. I'm on my fourth, maybe third bobbin. And hold on, I'm gonna start the machine real quick. I'm gonna move you here so you can watch me start it. You know, I think it's a rip-off, right? Because you could buy you could buy a whole spool of thread for $50. Okay, 3 times 4 is $12 for the spool for the thread charge. You could buy a whole spool of thread for come on, I gotcha. Come on, machine. For that much money, and then you don't go through the whole spool, and you could you don't go through the whole spool at all. Let me see. Getting her ready. And then let's talk. Then then they tell you, I'm sorry, you can't use that thread. You can't use that thread at all because my machine doesn't like that thread, which means I'm too lazy to learn how to do pensions. And I want to charge you the thread charge because you're stuck because you have to pay the thread charge, I say. And I think when you have long arm quilters that do that, I think they're, anyway, they're out. And I get it. I get this perspective of it. A long arm quilting machine costs a lot of money. So they're trying to make money off of an investment of a machine. I get it. But I also think that you can't get your investment in a year. An investment is you can get your money back within the 5 years that you're working the machine. And you can't poke your client's eyes out. Well, I don't think, but some people, so press your seams. I think one of the best clients that I have are clients that press their seams. Why? Because it's flat. And it's easy to quilt, and I have the best success. And if they don't press their seams or press stuff like this quilt, I go ahead and do it anyway. Like, who cares? It's not that deep. It's part of the working of the quilt. But I want to show you this. We're going to move you here because I want you to see. I don't know if you see it. I'm moving my camera so you can see it. I want you to see the puddling of the quilt, the bottom of the quilt. And this is part of the fact that she didn't iron the front of the tops. And so her border is bigger and it causes that weird puddling. And my recommendation is, if you're going to be working on a quilt that has this kind of bias, starch the heck out of it. Don't be afraid to starch it. Stiffen it somehow. And then also the stiffener, I don't know if you see how it's off. Every little weird, not ironed seam creates these weird problems. Like, I ironed it really well, which is great. She's ironed really well. Where I ironed it, but you can see where let me turn you around. It's hot here in Texas. Let me see. Can I bring you down? Hold on. Let me move across. Let me move the machine down. Sorry, I'm moving you. I wish I could have a... You see how she puddles? The way you could just fix that is a starch and iron. And she'll stiffen up and she won't puddle like that. And so then when you put the block together, you don't have that. Because this probably stretched when she was building the top. And so the triangles that she made to put here, she stretched them to fit. Because they stretched on her. But it's okay. It's fixable. But some long armors will not fix this stuff. Some long armors will quilt your quilt with those problems. And I've seen it at quilt shops where the person got frustrated and she's frustrated with the quilt because she expected just to sit and have the long arm quilted for her, and she didn't expect to spend time ironing it and fixing it. So let me see. Let me move you here. Look how beautiful she is. No, don't switch. Don't move on me, camera. All right. Let me move you to this camera so you can see better. You don't need to see my chest. It's sweaty and hot up here. I had an AC guy come and put Freon in my building. He's really a great guy. I was going to buy a brand new mini split. Let's see. I'm going to bring you here. Maybe I could turn you around. And I'm going to have you watch me unpackage. I was going to grease her and work on her. But I'm going to unpackage. Guess what I got? A beautiful blue featherweight. I'm going to keep her up here. Let me move her down. Isn't she lovely? A little blue featherweight. I just bought it from my friend. I am indebted to her now. Which I'm going to be... Isn't that beautiful little featherweight? So I'm going to put this here. And then I just got her. I got a purple one. I don't think the paint job is that great. Well, it's great. It's good. It's good enough. It looks beautiful. But this one, I think when my friend bought this one, the paint job is beautiful. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she lovely? I didn't intend to buy this from her. I really didn't. I went to help her fix it. I went to her home to help her figure out what was going on with her. And the only reason it wasn't working, I'm gonna move these, is because of the way I'm trying to put the box out of the way. It's she didn't have, let me move this here so it doesn't scratch it off. She didn't have this area put in right. And let me share with you some experiences I had with people who sell painted featherweights. Let me sit down and let me turn you around. What I have found is the people who are painting, oh, come on, who are painting the featherweights. Come on. I don't think they know how they work. I think they feel like it's a financial investment. Let me move all this. And I found that they do not, I bought the purple one and I love the purple one that I got. What I have found is that they clean them up so well that they don't grease them. So the machines sounds like there's no grease in the gears, and they don't oil all the areas you're supposed to oil them. And so when I saw my friend with her, this was her machine, but I bought it from her, is that she was kind of disappointed because she sounded a little bit loud. And when I greased her and I oiled her, and then I was working the machine through all the, letting that grease really set in, this machine became very quiet. So if you're looking at buying a featherweight, not with the Featherweight shop, when you buy these on eBay or anyone else, you need to make sure that you go through the machine and re-oil them. Re-oil them. Because I found that they don't do that. Hold on, I'm going to move this here. Hey, stop fighting in here. No. And she's just acting like she's dead. And you want to act crazy with her. Okay, let me carry you. This little girl. Stop. Please stop. I love you. So that's what I found. If you are going to buy it on Etsy or eBay and stuff, if your machine sounds really loud, go to the Featherweight shop and they share with you all the oiling ports where this has to be oiled and the greasing area. You have to grease the gears on the top and the gears on the bottom. Because I bought the purple one and gosh, that machine sounded like, I don't know, like loud. Not in here. Go outside. Please stop. And so I really do recommend that if you're going to buy a featherweight from somebody, that you look at the Featherweight shop's videos. And I also have a video that I've created for myself when I bought machine at eBay, and what I did to fix it, and what I did to, I had to clean that one up. The grease was really dirty and old, and I had to go through the whole thing. And yeah, so look at their stuff, and then you could also look at my video if you want. That would be awesome. But be aware that when you buy a painted featherweight from somebody, that they don't know about the greasing and the oiling of the machine. And this little machine really is beautiful. Look. And I had to oil her everywhere that they say to oil her, and then I had to grease her. And then as I started using her, she started singing like a little angel. My friend was really frustrated with it, so she kind of was like, I don't want her no more. I don't need her no more. I'm not interested no more. And I'm like, why? She's lovely. But it happens. She had buyer's remorse, and I think she's so beautiful. And I thought it'd be nice to have her up here because this room has a lot of blues in there. And then when I'm piecing, I can play with her. Anyway, but I have a lot of these. I buy a lot of them on eBay for like, you could get them really cheap because some sellers don't know. I think I got one for $150, but the body was really messed up. And I intended to take that one to somebody to paint for me, but then someone begged me for it and I sold it to them for, I bought it for $150. I put probably like $100 worth of like grease, oiling. I had new casing. I put a new belt. I did a whole bunch of different things to it. Let me see if I could show you. And then she wanted it really bad, and I sold it to her for like $100. I sold it to her for $300, so I made money off that purchase. Yes, they're very helpful, right? The classes, but you can also go to the featherweightshop.com or YouTube, and they really share a lot of information that's really helpful. My friend of mine was using alcohol to clean the. You don't use alcohol ever on your featherweights. Oh, okay. I'm going to share that so they could go and look and see her tips on her website. Also the Featherweight shop. I love the blue color. I know. She's delicious. I got a purple one, and what I did is they didn't take the paint off, the black, and they painted this beautiful purple on it, so it looks like a black purple. But I found that because the paint was so thick, that here in this area, it started cracking, and it cracked here. I think what you could sand it off because the paint is so thick on top. Even this plate is really tight. The plate is really tight when they paint it. But she sounds really pretty. They said that they did a great job on this one. On my other one, I could say they did a good job, but you could also see I need to get a new nut or put something on here. This nut right here is really loose, and I keep tightening it. But I think I may need to get another one and then put a sealant on it to seal the nut. Maybe I could have my husband help me with it. But yeah, isn't she lovely? Yeah, she's really pretty. So yeah, I wanted to share that. Also too, while we're here, kerosene to clean the oil and the grease. Yes. Well, the Featherweight shop talks about like having a droplet of kerosene. When I clean the grease off of the machines, is I have these brushes. I love these brushes. They don't want you to use Q-tips because they don't want any like lint from the Q-tip to be stuck in the gears, but I use these instead of kerosene. I didn't know to use kerosene to clean the grease and the oil. I use these to clean them. And then they got really dirty and messy and gross, and it was a lot, but I use these to clean the gears on the bottom of the machine and on the top. But yeah, I love these because this is foam and it doesn't detach unless you've already really torn the foam. But you can pull it out. It doesn't have any little hairs of lint. That's why I love this. But yeah, so I got this little Featherweight. Also too, we're going to talk about what quilt you guys want me to do another live stream. And on that live stream, if you join, I'm going to put your name in a raffle. Sorry, 3 times. Stop. Can you not? Okay, you need to. Oh my God, my dog. Hey, Sugar. Thank you. That's my bed. Okay, hold on. Sorry. I'm going to move you here. I'm going to pick the 3 quilts that I said I would quilt on the live stream. And you guys need to pick one. I already have the long arm ready to set it up. So let me get the quilts. What is it? It's the blue one. It's the multicolored one. And the other day I was here and I was preparing all the leaders, or a leader for each of these quilts. We're going to move you so I can see what you're asking me. And I'm going to move you up. Some of these cords, I wish I could do this cordless. And I think there is a cordless system, but I'm afraid that it would drop. Sorry. All right, let's see. All right, I'm moving you slightly so I can see you. And if you have any questions, this is the time because we're on our last row maybe. All right, So y'all choose today. I'm gonna let y'all pick. That is such a pretty machine. Anyway. I did a live stream where I unboxed these. So if you want a little bit more detail, I don't know if there's more detail there, but you could see them. Oh, why do you like this? Do not do that. AI. On the unboxing, you can see. Let me show my face because it's dumb. So that's this one. We're going to call this the black border compass star. Star. Circle star. Stop, Mama. She's beautiful. Or, hold on, let me get the machine going and not waste y'all's time. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to, there's cords everywhere and I'm trying not to trip. So if you see me hesitating, I don't want to fall today, or I don't want to break a camera today. That would be nice, right? Not breaking a camera. That would be a good day. Not breaking a camera. Now this camera is not focused on me. I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be a good day. I'm glad you're here with me. Trying to be positive, right, Lorena? Try to be positive when things are going to crap. All right. So then you saw the black one, and I don't know if some of you have done the live stream with me before, and have seen the other quilts, but I'll showcase those too. But I want this, I believe this quilt I'm going to donate to this kid who came to my church years ago, and he's going to be baptized one day. I think it's a masculine quilt. It's going to be, let me pull the pickup bar. You can see I'm going to so start my iron, and then see how it's cuddled real bad? Yeah. Sometimes this looks worse than it really is. And the neat thing about fabric, it has this beautiful flexibility that even if it's bad, it can all be handled. I'm going to go ahead and pull this thread here, or pull this back fabric so that I'm not, wow, I should have, Sugar, be nice to her. You used to, hey, Sugar. Okay. Sugar's like sitting on top of Roxy, and Roxy looks at me like, are you gonna let her do that to me? You know? Oh, let me see. I'm cutting the batting. And then this is part of that scrap batting pile. What's neat is I use this scrap batting to, let me move you up so you can see me, what I'm doing. To do the donation quotes. Oh. Why are you hard now? All right, donation quotes. All right, let's see. I'm going to pull this nice and taut, and also too, maybe I could starch it. You can see the seam is bowing. It was bowing on the sides, but now you can see it bowing on the bottom because it has that straight line that you see from across the bar. Let me get the batting. Sometimes you could fix this bowing by running your finger down the line. I don't know if you could see what I'm doing. The seam line, and it tends to straighten it a bit, but sometimes you can fix it by you stretching the quilt. Then you could see, let me see, and it's gonna have to be up a little bit. So yeah, let's see. I'm going to roll her nice and pretty. And then I'm going to iron her. I fill up my iron full of water. And I think the amount of starch that I go through, or water I go through when I'm steaming a quilt is a whole container's full. So don't be, and then I don't know if you can see me, I'm ironing towards the line of the seam. And then you can see that the back fabric's puddling. I'm going to fix that in a minute. Let's see. Oh. You could see sometimes you can't get rid of the puddling other than, now I recommend you wet it. You see how I got rid of it? I don't know if you saw, but you wet it with starch, let the starch sink into the fabric, and then you could re-iron again. So sometimes you could take in a lot of puddling by doing several times that you're starching. And you can see how the back is bowing down. And you can also see that there's like little pleats everywhere, which is okay. I'm going to fix that. Hold on. If you have questions, we're almost on the first to last row. Stop. Nope. And so, okay. So let's see. We're going to stitch her down. Come on. Nope. Really? Stitch her down. I'm really hungry today. Okay, and I'm not going to be able to stitch this end. So what I'm going to do, and I think the quilting is going to come about this far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to baste it nice and flat and move it to where the border is as straight as I can get it. It's not going to be perfect. Is it straight? This is, I'm going to straighten her out as much as I can here. I'm going to, then on this area I need to iron a little bit more. So these are quilts that I purchased at a Etsy store. I think this quilt is still available. I don't think her other quilts, the other quilts that I'm showing you, are anymore. Let me see. Maybe you'll, let's go here. But this quilt is still available if you're, let me iron this area. I need to wet that area because she's really puddling. And then we're going to start. And then I could see your comments again. And you guys could, and you saw, what I'm sharing right now is I'm going to starch her. Because even though I ironed it, there's some areas that are puddling. And I don't want, the reason I'm doing this is I don't have to do this right now. But I'm doing this because I'm talking to you guys and I'm not going to be on the quilt. Sometimes when a quilt is puddling, what you could do is you can move the quilting into the design of the quilting that is being put on. And you can move the puddling in the sections of the quilting. So it kind of is taken up within the quilt, it's within the long arming. But I don't want to be doing that because I want to see your comments. I want to talk to you. I want to share those quilts with you. And so I am starching a little bit more on here, flattening it down as much as I possibly can. And stop fighting, please, little dogs. Making sure there's no ripples. And then you can see that it's really taken in. Come on, right there. Sometimes just laying the iron on it too. People say do not move the iron and just, right? You can do that too. Some people have a lot of rules in quilting. I think it's dumb. It's like managing a lot of management and control everywhere. And I think quilting should be fun, freeing, liberating. It should be something that doesn't have burdens or problems to it. I was telling somebody that I went to a retreat years ago, and some people are just, no, not here. No, not here. It was like a sweatshop. It's the worst guild I've ever experienced. The people there were horrible. This is the worst. I've been part of 3 guilds, and no, two guilds, and some people need therapy. It's not that deep. It's just quilting. And I was part of a sewing group recently, and one lady was screaming at me in the class. Worst ever. And I was paying, it was a Queen of Diamonds class, and one of the ladies there was screaming at me across the hall. And it wasn't even me who did whatever she was accusing me of, but she was screaming at me in front of the owner, and the owner didn't stop her. The owner literally let her lose her mind on me. And I paid for the Queen of Diamonds, and I paid $700 to be mistreated. Can you imagine? $700 for a class that I wouldn't go because the owner would not tell somebody that her behavior is out of line, and I didn't feel like I had a right to tell anybody. Well, let me just be real clear. I'm a real sweet person. Sweet as pie. I really am. Sweet as pie. I'm the sweetest person you could ever meet. But once you come at me, and if I lose my temper, there's no coming back. And so in that class, I refused to say anything because I didn't want to go there. And when I get to that place, I will stay there for days. And I don't think it's worth wasting days on a jerk who doesn't have manners, even though she's 50, 60, 70 years old. So let me show you this quilt. This one. Why does it do that? Because it's AI. It thinks it wants to think for me. This is a quilt. This is number 2. We're going to call her the Blue Star. The other one is called Black. We're going to call her the Black Background. Stop, sugar. No, come back. Don't look at the ceiling, please. Lorena arguing with her cameras. Okay, so this is beautiful. Keep in mind, I'm going to give you, my subscribers, one of these, but y'all have to pick it. Or this one. Y'all tell me today. Now look at your comments. I love this one, man. Whoever gets this. Well, I love all 3 of them. Then, y'all pick. Please comment now on which one of these. The blue or the rainbow one or the black background. Please comment. I want to see your comments. And then I'm going to show you the backgrounds that I have for them, so that we could decide what backgrounds y'all want. Hey, no running in here. Hold on. Get outside. Get out. Bye. Go. See you later. You want to come in? You want to come in? No? Okay. So, background color. The bobbin went out. Okay, hold on. The background color. And did I have another bobbin? Yeah, I have another bobbin. I think I need to wind another bobbin. Hold on. I have three. Do I have three colors? 3 colored back fabrics to choose from. And while I wind this bobbin, I'm going to put a new bobbin on the long arm. I am also going to share with you the colored thread I'm using. I'm using the Joann's thread. Man, kind of like really mad that Joann has left us because I finally found a treasure there. Well, I found a lot of treasures there. But I found like a long arm quilting treasure for me there. And shoot, come on. Do y'all hate having to have readers? All right, hold on. I'm using a variegated thread that I bought. It's a quilting thread I bought at Joann's. It's a multicolored thread. Come on. It feels like it's 100% cotton. Let me see. It's beautiful. I am using it's. Sorry, I'm trying to put a bobbin on. And I'm having problems because I'm on a live. I'm trying to hurry. You can't hurry on a live. Okay, let's wind it. Come on. All right, I got it. So, in a minute, I will show you the thread selection. The back fabric selection. Okay, hold on. Let me move it. We're moving you. We're gonna move the bobbin and get it ready. Okay, so I'm gonna move here. Hopefully the dumb video doesn't shift on me. Okay, let's see, right here. So, I'm gonna move you here. So, yeah, isn't that crazy how it moves? And it doesn't supposed to do that. Anyway, right here. Hello, how are you? How you been? How you doing? I promised my live streams are gonna get better and better. Please comment which quilt you like, which quilt style you want to see quilted. And then I'm going to start this right now. Cancel. I like staying with you guys until I have it completely finished because, where are you? Where did it end? Okay, hold on. Right here. This batting is really lengthy. It's kind of crazy. Okay. Okay, so she's working. How you doing? I'm going to switch you to another camera, okay? Okay, let's go over here. Hello. You like the black? Okay, rainbow, the last one. They're gorgeous. Blue. Blue rainbow. Okay, hold on. Let me get you to look at me. Blue star. You purchased 2 of them? Which one? Okay, sorry. You told me I was a horrible influencer. Just saying. Did you buy the tree ones? Those are the things. Sometimes it's weird, like Etsy, she has like other quilts to do, but they're hidden in the system. And then all of a sudden, like you'll find a feed, and then all of a sudden other quilts will show up that are not on her page. You're gonna open, oh, she packages the quilts really pretty, by the way. You vote for the blue. 2, 3. Someone said that one. tell me which one specifically, because I don't remember in the feed system which one I showed you, because I wasn't looking at the comments. 4. I have 5 blue, 2 black, and I think 2 colored rainbow. So, you like this background fabric? For all of them, I think they'll work with all of them. Or, because right now, the vote is blue. The vote is blue. I got another vote for the blue one. Or do you like this background fabric? I think this would be beautiful. Or, this is fun, right? Or this background fabric. I don't think this goes with the blue. Blue rainbow. Okay, let me go back on the feed. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 blue, 5 blue, and I think I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 3 want this one. I only have 3. I have 5 that want this one. Oh, this would be beautiful on a bed. Well, all of them. 5 that want this one. And then I think I have 2 currently that want this one. So, and I'll do another giveaway. I agree to play. So, okay. So, we're choosing the blue one. Yes? Is that a yes? Is this a yes? Bing, bing. I don't know how to do that. Bing, bada, bada. Okay, this is the blue one y'all want. Yes, am I right? Y'all want this one. Yes? Am I good? Because it's blue with yellow. Okay, and then y'all want this one. Or this one also has yellow. Or I think if you want it tone on tone, someone said yellow back with the blue. Blue with yellow. Yes? So is it this yellow? This is the yellow blue. Let me give you. Yes? That's it? Yes. I think these go well. I think this is a teal. I think that's too yellow. Am I wrong? But I still think it's beautiful. So when we do a live stream, maybe if I think tomorrow, what's tomorrow? What am I doing with my life tomorrow? Tomorrow's the 1st of July. I'm going to live stream this tomorrow. Yes? Live stream tomorrow. I'm going to live stream this tomorrow. Okay. So we got this. Tomorrow, I usually come up here. I will come up here and live stream at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Time. Okay? Central Time. But I'm going to put these beautiful away. Okay. So I got all the back fabric. See, I was even preparing all the back fabric for y'all so you guys could pick. So let me move you here. I'm going to put all this away. And whoever, the giveaway is for people who are in the United States. If you are not in the United States and you're in Canada, What I'll do is if you win the giveaway, I will pay for up to half of the shipping, because shipping is expensive to Canada. Unless you're Beth Jarvis, I'll send it to you for free if she wins. You could still go on there and say I'm here, or comment I'm here. Just put your name, just say, and take 1 minute, 1 second, say I'm here, I'm working, whatever, and at least I know that you're in, and I will take your name down. So no, Annette, if you just come in for like a second, like, you know, on the live stream, and say I'm here, and I know you're working, and I'm not going to expect you to stay the whole time because you need to do your job, and I will put your name down. Okay? Annette, is that okay? I know you're going to be working, but you could just come. Central Time. If you're Pacific Time, it'll be 2 hours earlier. So if it's 3, it's 1 o'clock. If you're Pacific, East, I don't know. Central Time, 3 p.m. And I'll probably be here quilting. Like this quilt, it's taking me 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'll probably be here for 1 hour with you guys. So you have time. Even if you don't get the right time, let's say let's say it's like you don't have to be here right when I start the live. You just have to come into the live for a couple minutes or for a period of time and watch. Please invite your friends. I really do want to grow my channel. I'm trying to grow it, and I don't know what's going on with the algorithm. Please let your friends know if you want them to participate, or just let them know about my channel. And I did do 3 videos on the Jesus banner, and they're all different. I know the front of the picture looks the same. I think everybody thinks it's exactly the same footage, maybe, or like it's posted. One video is how I quilted the center. The other video is how I quilted the border, and I'm showing like detail how. In the last video that I posted, it's not getting a lot of traction. And I think because everybody who watches me is thinking, oh, it's the same thing. It's not. One video is how I put the border and how I did the sleeve on the back of that banner. And I think it would be 4 p.m. my time. So yeah, please go watch those, so it lets YouTube know that my content is interesting enough to share to others. But yeah, I think they're really pretty. I don't do a lot of custom quilting on this channel. I do, but it doesn't get a lot of traction. I think some of those videos are my favorite. They're my favorite, I guess, because that's what I do. Okay, so let me move this over, and I'm going to put you to the quilt. That was fun. Let me see. Okay. Let me show you the thread that I'm using. Oh, and I also wanted to share the blue one. Okay, we picked the blue star one. We also picked this back fabric. Also, too, I already have the batting cut. I am using this thread on this quilt top. I think because this quilt has a white background on it, it has a beautiful white background on it, I tend to use a lighter gray, a soft gray, or a beige, or a very light blue. So let's pick the thread. Let's do this as if you're my client. Hold on. Put you here again. You can see that the border's not straight. Shoot. It's not straight at all. Let's see. Let's see the thread color. Let's see. I don't think I have enough of this one, but I think this thread color would be beautiful. I also have, if you're like, where did she go? I'm picking threads right now. That's where I went. I like variegated threads. This would be so pretty. I'm gonna bring you here. Oh, sorry. I can't control that camera. She lost her mind. Okay, so this is one of them. This is, so because you have a lot of white on the background, you want to pick a lighter thread to quilt this with. This is a light purple blue, kind of light blue, but it has a little bit of purple in it because I think it goes with this. It goes with, come on camera, help me out here. It goes with these, not these right here. So it's a blue. Do we get to pick a panto? My favorite panto that I could pick, maybe when I finish this quilt we could go on the computer. My favorite panto to pick would be, it's called Quill Feathers. It just quilts so beautiful. But if you want, so this one, then my favorite, I think this, it doesn't have purple in the quilt. But this is so soft. Ooh, it would quilt so pretty. So pretty. It's not gonna take away from the quilt, but it adds a little bit of sweet color. You see that? To the quilt as it gets quilted. What do y'all think? You like this one? My choice would be this one or this one. What do y'all think? You're gonna own this quilt, one of y'all there. So can't, this one or this one. And I also have this light mint green. The neat thing about this mint green is when it's on color, you'll see it, or on the color of the quilt, but when it's on the background, it disappears and it looks like white. This one, right? All right. Got her. Is it bending over for me? Okay, so I got her. Beautiful. Yes? So I will wind those bobbins. I'm going to move you here so you can watch the long arm while I put everything away. Let me see. Let me put this away, I tend to be the kind of person that if I pull anything out, I put it away right away. Because if not, I have a cluttered mess everywhere. Let's see. Dun dun. Bum, bum, bum. Let's see. Up. So I have that. What else do I have? Then we need to pick, let's see. This one, right? It's beautiful, right? Then when this machine is done, unless tomorrow, when we start, I'll show 3 patterns that I think will quilt beautifully, and y'all pick out of those 3. I feel quill feathers is very beautiful, and because I've quilted this before, it's very flowy is the word, flowy. I could put, what else? Unless y'all could go to Ann Bright or Element. How can we do this? Well, if you guys want to wait, I will show you the designs that we could pick from, and I'll pick 3 because then I could put it on the system. But let me get this going. Move this real quick. So she's done. I basted this down. I don't know if you see that. I don't know what camera I put you on. Okay. I'm going to move this to here. You could see that, shoot, there's a lot of puddling right there. There's a lot of pleats here. And that's why you want to iron your quilts, because some long armers will quilt your quilts and let it be pleated everywhere. Now, the thing about that, so there's like little pleats here. When you wash your quilt, you're not going to really see the pleating because your quilt it's going to loft up from the batting. But if you're a long armer, you don't want to showcase a quilt full of pleats ever, because it shows that you don't know what you're doing, kind of. You want the quilt to be as nice and beautifully quilted as possible, even if it's not your fault. That's what I feel. So what I have here is the basting thread. Look, I have it. I'm going to turn you here. You want to, as much as, you know how you were seeing this border looked really bad and wonky? I try to straighten it as much as I can. It doesn't look as bad now that I've removed the tension off of it. So sometimes it looks really bad on the long arm under tension. And when you remove the tension, the quilt unsew. So let's see. I'm going to take all this basting off because it's shifted a bit here. And I use the basting to make sure that that border stayed in position ultimately. That's why I basted there. So now I'm going to lock the stitches down here. And I just need to quilt just this much, like that much, which is annoying. There you go. And, oh. Na, na, na. All right, there we go. So you see that. I'm also going to trim off all the batting. The reason I trim off all the batting is when I trim the quilt, I don't have to deal with it. And the way this is called, I'm going to have to trim off sections of the design off of the long arm because I don't want the long arm to quilt beyond this point. So it's called trimming off. And so I found sometimes I don't have the trim off exactly in line to the top, and it'll quilt on top of the batting, and then it's just a pain in the butt to trim off. So to save myself that hassle, I do what I'm doing. Let me see. Come on. And then I'm going to have the anchor points so that I know where to trim off. So here's one. And then I go all the way down as far as I can, travel all the way across the machine to this point. Then I travel here, and then I make a whole bunch of anchor points. And it carried my thread. I should have. Want to know what this is really like? Here we go. It's not as fun as it looks. Stop. Okay, trim. Now I'm wasting a lot of thread. Okay. So, let me move you here. And then, I'm just going to have the machine start. Because, let's see, tomorrow, here we go. And it's going to quilt and then trim. And now I have more scrap batting. I was donating it at one time. And then, so I'm going to let the quilt, and I'm going to move you here. I want to show you a project I was working on. And then, in a minute, when it's done quilting, we're going to go ahead and take this quilt off. we're going to put the giveaway quilt on. You're going to watch me put it on. And then while we're doing that, you're also going to help me pick a design. So y'all need to decide, do you want it feathery? Do you want it masculine? Do you want it bold? Let's see. Hi, June. How are you? Hi, everybody. So look, I want to show you this. I did this project. I think it was kind of hard. I had to take a class. It's called the Mexican Star. Have you ever done this one? I still need to work on it. It's a neat project. I had to fold these in. And if you ever do this for a long armor, I'm going to tell you, these are problems for a long armor. It has like a rectangle, and a lot of times you're just told to sew the top in, you know, the curve. And I ended up hand stitching the curve and hand stitching the bottom so that I don't have that lip, that seam, because that causes you to have pleats. How are you doing, June? Nice to have you here. Let's see, we're gonna pick, so June just got here, the light purple one. Not my favorite. Our church. We cut. If it's not his favorite, he likes variegated, or she likes there's us also variegated. Hold on, I'm finding another. I don't know if I have enough of this thread. So, you didn't like the variegated that much. This is the one we were thinking everybody was interested in doing. I think this is beautiful. But then I also have these two. This one would work really pretty. But everybody was choosing this one. Do y'all change your mind? This has more blues and beiges. This has more green tones with a little bit of pink. I have a lot of variegated. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, let's get the machine going. Let's me put you here. Come on. Is she starting? Papa, you don't want to come in? It's raining out there. You look like wet dogs. Well, you are wet. Come on. Come in here. Come on. Okay, they say no. They're sitting on the steps because it's warm, but it's raining right now. Let's see this. There you go. Okay, then, what'd y'all think about the thread? What'd y'all think? My quilt was complicated? No. You do it a lot, you get good at everything, I think. I think you get good at everything. Well, everything that you do a lot. Let me see. Let me share. Hopefully that camera doesn't shift down. And now you see your upper view. You like the first variegated? Sweet purple. Okay, everybody likes, well, the people who are speaking to me like this one. So we're going to go with what they say. We're following them. All right, I'll put these away and I'll let you see the quilt in all its glory. Hopefully it doesn't move. If it moves, I'm sorry. I can't control the AI camera. Ah, she's following me. No. No. My life is a lot. You okay, sugar? Like, you want to see Blue? She's been, you want to see Blue and all her goodness and all her sweet, come on. Everybody wants to see you. Hey, little baby. You okay? You're kind of cold, huh? She likes being outside because she's cold. No, 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 no. Mm-hmm. You're like, are you okay? Mm-hmm. If the thread is dark, yes, it will hold on. It will, you will not see the quilt anymore. You'll see the thread. So rule of thumb, or that's the rule of thumb for me. If you have a lot of light background, like predominantly, yes, it has color, but the background is white, you would want to put a lighter neutral thread in the back. The lighter thread will be seen, like you'll see it. I don't know if you can see it. And inside the piecing, it'll highlight the quilting, but it will not dominate the quilting when it goes to the white. I don't know if you can see that thread right there. Now, this quilt has a dark background, predominantly a royal blue in the back. So I used, and I'll move you here. If I would have used a white thread, the white thread would dominate the quilt and overpower it. And so because it has such a dark background, I went ahead, hold on, let me get the machine going. How annoying. I went ahead and I used, and I'll bring the other camera back so you can see the quilting. I used a very extremely dark thread. Not extremely, right? I could have used a royal blue. I could have used a gray blue. I could have used even a dark blue or dark gray. But some of the trees and some of the piecing had a lighter color. And so you want a thread that goes dark and has some lightness in it. That's why I think variegated thread is so beautiful. You want to be able to, as it moves along, and I'll show you like up close how beautiful this thread looks on the quilt. It almost looks like it fits the fabric because when the dark and the dark sit, they neutralize each other or they blend in. You know, they camouflage themselves. So even though you looked at this thread and you're like, wow, it's really dark, when you have it on a background fabric, you don't see, let me see, do I have a background? You don't, it kind of, like here, I know you're seeing this full right, but you see how it becomes neutral? It becomes really neutral thread. So, but if you put it on the white, let me see if I could get a good chunk of white. It becomes very dominant. I'm trying to get a good show. It almost looks like, it becomes very dominant. It pops up and then you'll lose the beautiful piecing that she did. I did a video once on a baby quilt that I picked the wrong color thread and I had to, and thank God I only did one row or one part of it, and I had to unstitch it the whole row because the thread almost overpowered the quilt and it made the quilt look dirty. You don't want thread to dirty up because it looks like almost like you have, let me see. You don't want it to, do you see how it looks kind of dirty? Especially if you bunch it. So that's why you want a lighter thread. This is the thread we're picking. And if you bunch it, even though it has color in it, it almost, this becomes neutral in the background, but it also becomes a sweet highlighted thread. I don't know if you can see it on the color. I don't know, can you see it? Yeah. Hi, how are you? Nice to have you here. Glad it's your first time. Your first time to watch me and my chaos, maybe. Hold on, let me start the machine, okay? Let me move you so you can see what we're doing. Nice to have you here. I'm really excited. We're going to do a live stream tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central Time, and we're going to do a giveaway. So I hope you get to come within the time that I'm long arming. Oh, let me change this thread. I put quilt binding because we're going to give away a quilt. And if you're here with me, hopefully you can see me. Hopefully it's not moving. Is the camera moving everywhere? Yeah. How annoying is that? Okay. If you're here with us, you could put, as long as you make a comment and I know that you're here, I will put you on a drawing. And you could be part of winning one of the quilts. If you come to my live and get to make a comment and you're here, I will write your name down. And I will put your name twice because you made it during the live. But if you see the live, maybe, you know, I'm going to give everybody a week. Maybe, nah, I'm going to give everybody 3 days to watch the live. Dang it. Hold on. I'm going to give everybody 3 days because I think that's fair. If you come and watch the live, maybe a day or two later, I will put you in the drawing and I'll put your name down once. If you are, can you see me? I need to see what I'm doing. Nope, she's turning, she's changing, she's a pain. Okay, now. Why little cameras? Okay, I need to read the instructions so they stop following me. If you come and you watch the live, like let's say you missed the live, and you still watch and you make a comment, I'm going to be looking for the next 3 days to put your name down, and I'm going to give you 3 days. Where did my machine go? Where did the thread go? Okay, hold on. I will put your name down, but if you come to the live specifically, I will put your name down twice. You have to make a comment. I do not know if you're here unless you make a comment. YouTube does not share. It tells me, for example, that there's 10 people here or 5 people here, but it doesn't tell me anything else. It doesn't tell me your name, your channel. It doesn't give me any other information. It just says there's like 30 people here, 5 people here. That's why if you comment, I know specifically that you're here with me. If you do the live, I'm going to clarify, I give your name twice. Or if you watch the live and you're here with me. So please comment no matter what. Even if you're on for 5-10 minutes or 2 minutes, please comment to me. If you watch the live within the 3 days, so it would be July 4th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. On July 4th, I'll give you guys to July 4th. If you watch the live then, am I making comments? Okay. If you watch the live then, I will let you be on the raffle and put your name once. Okay, it's done. So, yeah. Holy. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to let you guys watch me unroll it. Yes. And then I'm going to put the other one on. And while you're here, if you want to, it's up to y'all. Let me move this one. Let me move her here so you can watch me unroll her. And I'm going to take her comment. Nice to have you here, seriously. Really blessed to have you here. I will and then I'm going to show you how beautiful this thread color looks. Come on. Sorry if I'm in front of you. Maybe I'll move you here so you can not have to see my back end. That'd be nice, right? I'm going to, I was preparing, anyway. I need to do, wait. Sorry, you're watching me trying to figure out. What I want to do is I want to put a leader on this one so I could quickly transition from one quilt to the next. Oh, sorry, Mama. I'm so sorry. Then, a little girl. I'm going to unroll her. I think unrolling her, she looks so beautiful. Even with all her mistakes, right? So I'm going to unroll her. Move the long arm. Look at beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her off, but when I put the back fabric on the other quilt, I'm going to put her back on so you can look at her, like in all her beauty. La, la, la. Let's see. Let's see. Hopefully you guys like this kind of content. Real work content. What it's really like working up here. I remember I would always ask these weird questions, especially like when you're custom quilting. They don't talk about how you're constantly moving the quilt back and forth. That's this here. I'm going to get that fabric back up, okay? I just want to make myself a table. I want to make myself a table. Pull the fabric. Pull the fabric. Then I'm going to take this off, the leaders. You with me? And then I'm going to take the leaders off of this one. Ouch, shoot, I just stabbed myself. That's why I hate needles. Maybe I'm hypersensitive. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is my leaders. And then I want to show you this quilt, okay? And then I will put the quilt that I'm giving away to all of y'all. But I want you to see, I didn't think, oh, backwards. I didn't think this was the prettiest quilt. I didn't, honestly, I bought it because I wanted to see if it was something that from the picture, it didn't look as appealing. It didn't look as appealing to me anyway. But I bought it because you can't beat it for, I think this one cost $39. Let me see if I can move you down. See how beautiful she is? She has a couple pleats on the bottom, which if you do get a pleat, sometimes you could heat set and iron the pleat away so you don't have to unstitch to fix it, but sometimes you have to unstitch to fix it, which I think sometimes causes more problems. You learned something new. Thank you, Judy. I'm glad. I really don't want to waste your time. So let me share with you. I want to share with you the thread color because we were talking about it. So I'm going to fold her a bit so you could see, and I'm going to get the other camera so you could see in detail. Let me move her here. Is this one the, no. It's this one. All right. I'm going to move you. Please forgive me. I don't want to make you dizzy either. But I'm going to snap the camera and I'm going to bring you to the quilt so you can see closer up how beautiful. And this is me moving the camera, okay? Is it moving? I got the wrong. All right, see? This is what the quilting looks like. This camera does not have the best color, but look how beautiful that dark thread looks like. And even on the light quilt, the light fabric, it doesn't necessarily take away from the lighter fabrics. And that's when sometimes I like the variegated because it gives it it has lightness on the dark area. And so here's Whoops, shoot, hold on the camera. So you can see this has like the yellow, the red, the purple, and the green in the dark area right here. And then it has the same color here, the yellow, the red, the green, and it doesn't take away from it. It doesn't distort or overpower the quilt. But you can see all the beautiful quilting, but because the fabric predominantly has dark background, it kind of fits. You want the quilting colored thread to fit. So you can see some pleats there. Oh, you can see a lot of pleats here. But once I wash it, this is a quilt I'm giving away. Once I wash it, this will disappear. But in comparison, this quilt had a lot of puddling everywhere. All her blocks were full of puddling. So that's what the quilt looks like. Isn't she pretty? And from far away, you can tell that the thread is dark, but it blends into the background because predominantly this quilt has a very dark background. So use a dark thread to hit the background, because if I used a light thread, it would overpower the quilting or the quilt. So let's move and put the other quilt on there. I'm going to move you. Okay, sorry I'm moving. I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to set her down, this camera. Come on. Sometimes it's like camera difficulty is so annoying. Okay, there you go. The neat thing about editing videos is you can remove all that. So I'm going to remove this. Hopefully you could see. Hi. I'm going to remove this. The neat thing about doing these lives with you guys, I have already quilted probably 4 of these, and this makes number 4. I've probably done another 2 or 3, and I just need to put binding on them, put them in my car, and find a sweet soul to have them. So this is going to be put away over here where I'm not crowding. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab this beautiful quilt for you. Hello, how are you? And I do have batting that's already ready to be on here. But tomorrow, when I start, I will probably have already started her. Kind of already had her, like, maybe started row 1. Maybe even row 2, because we already picked the color. So I'm not keeping you that long. I think I'm not keeping, but I want you to see. Let me see if I could get it to show how beautiful you are. Beautiful. Look how beautiful this quilt is. Now you could really see it, right? Before you were seeing sections of it. So this is the quilt that I'm giving away to y'all, or one of y'all. And if you guys like this stuff, I have tons of these. They're kind of different colors, different styles. I don't intend to keep any of them. Well, maybe one of the rainbow ones, maybe a black one, maybe one of the, I don't know. I keep saying I'm not going to keep them. So here, let's start picking a design, okay? So I'm going to move you to the computer, all right? And I think I'm going to move this camera so that we can see what's on the computer. Ay, Dios mío. All right, vámonos. And then I'm going to move her here. No, we can do this, okay? We can do this. So I'm going to move this here so you're not annoyed with the transitions. But I want you to see the computer, and then I want you to, okay, use this computer. Don't drop nothing, Lorena. Let me move this quilt out of the way. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe he's going to follow me. Hopefully not. All right, let's, yeah, it followed me. Why? Why did it follow me? Okay. We're okay, right? Sorry. All right, we're going to move here. And I'm going to move you to this computer. So the quilting on this quilt is called Pick Up Sticks. That's what her name is. And she quilts beautifully. We could, and I'm just going to pick up designs that I think would quilt beautifully on this. I don't want to give you too much variety because it could get so confusing and my clients get a bit overwhelmed because I have thousands. What, thousands is over exaggerating. I think, no. What do you think? Feathers? What would you like on it? Feathers. You want a feminine touch on it? Hi, Bumma. No, that's not. You want soccer balls or footballs on it? That would be crazy, right? You want it modern? Ooh, maybe this, but that would be annoying. Some patterns are so annoying to quilt. Mama. And then I'm gonna pick. I love this, and I'm gonna tell you why I love it. It has birds. I love birds. You're literally, I'm acting like you guys are my clients. Which color do you like? What design would you like to put on here? The world is your oyster. Ooh, I love this one. Now, these are designed for a more feminine. Mama. I promise I'll give you rubs in a minute. And I'm going to do one more. If you want a modern, let me go here. If you want modern, like a modern design, or I think swirls would look really pretty. Let me see if I can find some. We could put modern, a really modern weird design. Let me see. I love, one of them is called, ooh, this is beautiful. And then literally on the computer, you could see. I'm going back and seeing if oh, this one is my favorite. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the machine and I'm gonna get it set up as if, I love you. Swirls. Okay, but let me get the machine ready. Let me move it down so you guys can see what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna, what I'm doing right now, it's setting up the machine to quilt. So what it is, it's you find placement. So let me see. I'm gonna move the machine. I'm gonna move this here. And what it is, it's the computerized system is, I'm gonna find a spot here. And then the computer will tell you how many rows, how many repeats, and that's up to you to decide. You see. But this way, right here, it stopped here. You can see what the quilting would look like in a large view, well, in a small scale, because it's on the computer. And then I'm gonna move you here, okay? And this quilt is supposed to be 89. So I'm gonna move you up close. I did bring you closer. Well, kind of not. Okay. There you are. So this is quills, but I'm not gonna quilt this much on it because going to take hours, and I don't think you want to spend 4 hours with me. So what I do is I try to do a medium to dense quilting. So that is called quills. I love this a lot. Do you see the beautiful quilting there? That's one of my favorite. This quilts so beautifully over and that's a little bit less quilting. This honestly quilts really pretty over this quilt. I've done this quilting design on this quilt and it's beautiful. So this is called Gala. I love this because it has the filigree, but it has the bird here and another little bird. I love birds, but y'all may not like birds. I love birds. Do y'all see that? That's called Gala. The other one I think would be beautiful too, and this is another one. It has the filigree or swirls that you guys are talking about. All these have that swirl filigree look. This is called the Broken Heart. What I love about this is like this is a flowers right here. This is part of the heart, and then it has two ends of the heart, and as it quilts along, you see these beautiful hearts, and these are tulips. So it just depends if you want it masculine or if you want it somewhat feminine. Those are some of the most beautiful designs. Now, because you all were talking about a swirl or a filigree. This one, okay, let me fix it. You guys can see it, right? Hopefully you guys see it. Minus 9. Oops, minus 8. 7. And then I'm going to have probably a couple repeats. Come on. Minus 5, enter. And then that is called, hopefully you can see it clearly. It's called Bubbles and Curves. Now, the neat thing about these this is a beautiful bubbles and swirls design, and then I'm going to show you one more and then I'm out, okay? I'm out. This is a very modern design. This is a little bit of a complicated design to quilt, so if you guys are having a long arm and you have issues on how to quilt certain designs, this will make it very modern on the top and on the back. Here. So what do y'all think? Which ones would you like? Hi, I love you. Got stickers all over. Y'all let me know. Seriously. You want my favorite is the quills. But it looks like swirls everywhere. It's delicious throughout the whole quilt. So, y'all tell me, I like the bubbles and curls. Yeah, this one. Mama, where are you, bubbles and curls? I'm going to switch it. That quilts beautifully too. It really quilts really pretty. But y'all tell me. Y'all like the bubbles and curls? All right. Anybody else have a say? And then when I put it on the long arm, or the quilt on the long arm itself, you could really see I will have the specifics of the size of the quilt. So then you set the machine now to the specifics of how I set it up. The bubbles and curls. All right. Anybody else have a say? We have 4 people. 2 people who like the bubbles and curls. What do y'all think? Say hi. Say hi, sweet angel. She's like, I'm cold, Mama. You have it at hold up here. But I'm still sweating. I really do appreciate you. I thank you for taking time to hang out with me. I really do. If you guys want, you like the broken heart, Kevin? I like the quilt. You guys tell me. So please come to the live stream. I will have broken heart and I'll have the bubbles and swirls ready for y'all. And then when we start the live stream, if you guys comment throughout this tonight, whatever I see the most, I will pick. Okay? I really do thank you for spending time with me, and I really do appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow at 3. All right? Have a wonderful day. Bye. You got to quilt with me. That was such a blessing. I really do appreciate you. Do your favorite design. Oh, okay. We'll think about